Welcome to the Lowkey Legends podcast, where we talk to legends that are low-key. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Gabe.
And I'm Hugo.
And we have a very special guest today, Sultan Sindhu. Thank you for coming in today. He's the founder of Kingpin Management Group, and Sada Capital Partners. So we'll talk a little bit about the real estate stuff too.
Yeah, sounds good. No, thank you guys for having me. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, man. What's up today? I know you have a PFL tonight, so
yeah,
you got some stuff going on over there. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out. Support Biagio Walsh. He's fighting. Biagio Oli Walsh is fighting. I know. I know his father and his mother pretty well. Trying to help work out with them as well with some sponsorships, things like that. So, just gonna go out, support them. Go out to the after party after, and yeah, just keep always in motion, pretty much.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, not many people know what management do for fighters. So somebody that doesn't know what that is, tell us a little bit about what it goes into your day to day and what kind of your job is.
Yeah. So there's it's a multi-hat type of job. You're basically these athletes' ace and right-hand man. You are the bridge between the talent and the opportunities. So I find my MMA guys fights. I find my athletes sponsorships, day-to-day stuff, help them just figure things out, training opportunities, and just, be there for them, have their back, and help them climb the mountain.
Yeah, tell us, I keep up with your stuff, but for people who don't know, or Jeremiah and Hugo also, name some of your fighters, some of your upcoming guys.
Yeah, so I've got a roster of 15 guys right now. 3 wrestlers, which is the Ferrari brothers, AJ Ferrari, Anthony Ferrari, Angelo Ferrari, 3 of the best wrestlers in the world. And, they have a really bright future. And besides them, my 2 boxers are Vernon Brown, Sub-Zero Brown. He's signed to Zuffa Boxing, which is the boxing promotion that UFC just started. Yep. And then I have Jack Sambiaku, who's a young kid. He's 22. He's 1-0 as a pro, but he had a crazy amateur career in Africa, champion over there. An unusual amount of knockouts as an amateur. Amateur careers don't come with the amount of knockouts Jack had. He's a finisher, and right now he boxes for the Dallas Enforcers in the team boxing league. So he has a match coming up April 18th, this Saturday. And then I have 10 MMA fighters, and all of them are killers. I can go through all of them for you guys if you want, but they're all killers, up and coming. They're doing their thing, and they have a future in the UFC.
Cool. And then you touched it on a little bit, the Zuffa Boxing. I actually wanted to ask you, a lot of people are kind of on the fence about, is this good for boxing? Is this bad for boxing? What's your opinion on that?
I think...
and how was it dealing business with them?
Oh, dealing business with them was great. They're matchmakers. This guy named Charles, he's a great dude. I love working with him, and working with them's amazing. Everything's professional. It's the big leagues. And in terms of boxing, I think they're putting out the type of matchups fans want to see. If you watch one of their cards, it's a lot more finishes than a normal, typical boxing card, because there's no easy fights in Zuffa. Doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight a killer.
Yeah, they basically took the UFC model and applied it to boxing. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the long run, but I think it's good. It's making other promotions and boxing promoters step up their game too, and I think it's good. I think overall boxing is continuing to grow, getting more attention.
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of touch on how you got into this whole combat world, right? So how did you first get into starting Kingpin?
So my career in the fight game began because there was a guy from Chicago, a fighter. He wasn't in the UFC yet, but he was pretty close. He was working his way, killing it on the regional scene. His name is Dan Argueta, Dan the Determined. Became friends with him, and at this time I was working for the Chicago Bulls front office. But I had some sports agency experience when I was a college student, help working at an agency. So I started wanting to manage fighters, and I started talking to some big agencies in the game. Then I talked to Dan and, asked his opinion, and he was like, why don't you just come work for the agency I'm signed to, which is a smaller family-run agency. It's owned by Cub Swanson, Killer Cub Swanson, who's making his last UFC fight today on UFC Miami.
Yes,
I'm actually...
repping.
Nice.
That's what's up.
So
beautiful.
Started with Cub Swanson and his group of killers at Bloodline Combat Sports Agency. Mani Ahmadi, the other owner of the agency. Just learned from them, started working under them, helping manage that roster of killers, worked for them for 3 years. And then once I had the proper foundation and, it felt like the natural step to go open my own agency. I opened my own agency with my own separate group of athletes. A lot of people will work for an agency, then when they leave to open their own, they'll try to like poach guys and steal guys. I didn't do that. I left and said I would never take a bloodline guy. You know what I mean? I went with my own foundation, just because believe in being a good guy still, even though the fight game is full of
I hear that.
bloodhounds.
Shout out Connor Ben. No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, at the end of the day, fight, like you said, fighting is a very individual sport, right? The best thing you could do is look out for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a shark business, but it's good to know like there's people like you in the business keeping things clean and being chill with everybody and not trying to poach people and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's my spirituality. I believe God already has like a plan written for me. I'm on this path for a reason. If he wills, I'll be the #1 agent in the world. If he doesn't, I'll be all right still. So.
No, you're doing crazy things already, man, for sure.
No, I appreciate
How
it.
long has how long has Kingpin been around now?
Kingpin, I started in October 2025. So a year and a half.
Yeah, I remember. I think when you were first
actually. Yeah. It's been a year and a half.
Yeah. I remember talking like when you were first kind of starting. That's when we first.
So it was actually October 2024.
Yeah, right. I
It's
remember
coming
because
up on 2 years.
yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure. So, people want to know how they can make some money in fighting. How exactly do your fighters make money? Is it mostly through sponsorships? Are the bags like that, or like how do people make money?
My guys are on my MMA fighters are on the regional scene right now, so they're grinding. They have to work their ass off. It's the hardest job in the world, to be a pro fighter. But once you get to the top, if you believe, and you keep working, the payoff comes. I'm a firm believer in hard work pays off. No hard work will go unpaid. So as long as you're not looking for instant gratification and you're not willing to quit, I think, there's possibilities for sure to make money.
So, you've run a couple different businesses, and we'll touch in on it a little bit more later, but as somebody who comes more from a business background, right? How do you see like when fighters are gonna create wealth for themselves versus a lot of fighters get paid a lot of money, like Floyd's broke right now.
Yeah, no.
So like, how do people make money and how do they build wealth? And do you have any part in talking to them about that?
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing I'm looking forward to. Obviously as my fighters grow, and they, get their hands on some M's. The goal is to invest those M's, not blow them, turn those. My job is to make the money, not take the money from them as an agent, and we'll all make money together, open businesses up. I'm a big believer in real estate, I work in commercial real estate. My family's in commercial real estate. So I do that and I try to gain as much knowledge as I can. So when these guys are in a position where they have that investment money, I can show them the ropes of the real estate game and how to multiply that wealth.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you talked about how you worked for an office for the Bulls and Clippers, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, talk to me about that experience. Jeremiah here is a huge fan of basketball too in the NBA, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Just tell me like any crazy stories and what that life was like.
So the Clippers was cool. I was there at probably like the best time in Clipper history. I started there in May, and then in July we signed Kawhi and then traded for Paul George, and like, man, that shit was crazy. Everyone was talking about it, the Battle of LA and the home opener. We beat the Lakers too. I remember I was standing here and like Snoop Dogg was like a few feet away from me, and I was just like, yeah, son, there's a new show in town. Obviously it didn't pan out, no Clippers championship, but it was exciting, and Kawhi's a beast. He's still, since he's stepped up his game at like 23 years old or whatever at the Spurs, I think he's been a top 5 player in the league since then. Even though he doesn't play as much as other guys.
Oh yeah, when he plays,
Kawhi's a beast, dude.
People forget.
Yeah, he's a two-way monster, and I'm a big fan of him. So Clippers was awesome. My time there was great. Steve Ballmer was great. That was a lot of fun, living in LA during that year.
So what was like a day in a life when you're like working for the Clippers? Like, were you in their meetings? Like,
yeah, so I did business ops. So I wasn't in the basketball ops. I was in the business ops of the front office. Our job was like to make money, sell B2B tickets. I would do season-long tickets. I would work with businesses, partners, sweet deals, things like that. But my day-to-day would be like I would wake up. I lived with two of my front office like homies. We were all living together in a city called Glendale. It was like a 40-minute drive from downtown. So wake up, go with the boys to the LA Clippers front office. Just business
Dude,
all
that's
day,
fun.
calls, emails, meetings, showings, tours, just always on the clock. And then game days, like I would work. If we had games, we would just work all day and then just go to the game and then work the game too. But it was nice having a suit on, having a badge that could get me anywhere in the arena, backstage, courtside. I was like living a dream. I told everybody I was going to the NBA. I didn't end up there the way I thought, but I
You're
still
still there.
ended up there.
Like I told you.
So,
No, for sure. But what got you to go on and move on to the Bulls front office role?
I got a promoted position with them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I got an external promoted position, and obviously I'm from here. And I had my nieces, my nephews all here. I was like, I should go back to Chicago,
Did your
provide
homecoming-
them the experiences, bring them to games, my brother's kids, so it was cool. I just wanted to come back home, and it was a promoted position, so.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that's dope to like be able like watching the Bulls growing up and stuff, and then
Yeah.
working for them that's like a lot of people's dream, So that's dope, man.
Yeah, no, it was really good, I enjoyed it. I was a huge Bulls fan growing up, obviously. I love Derrick Rose. Besides that, I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. I would say this, I probably fanboyed only 3 athletes in my life, like Kobe Bryant, Derrick Rose, and then it's a low-key one, but Jeff Hardy, WWE.
Jeff Hardy.
I
That's
met
what's
D Rose. I've met D Rose and I've met Jeff Hardy. Never met Kobe, but those are my 3 like favorite.
How was the
favorite
experience meeting D Rose?
Awesome. That was awesome. I was such a big D Rose fan. Even at the Clippers, like I would have like a D Rose in a Clippers jersey as my like
Oh yeah.
business computer's wallpaper. So D Rose is cool, man. He's a down to earth guy. He's a good person. In a world full of like wicked people. D Rose is a real one. So
You just walk up to the front office like, I think we should sign D Rose.
yeah, always.
Yeah.
I've been on that train.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of jealous that you met D Rose. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was a blessing, bro. I'm huge. I feel like every kid in Chicago. Just D Rose is our guy, So he put on for the city and the way he played, and it's just hope. He gave the city hope. The only time the city's I feel like had hope in basketball since Jordan. So
Yeah.
special.
Have you been to his flower shop?
Not yet. No, man. I've been traveling so much because of the fight game, and then I have 2 kids, 4 and 2 boys. So I'm just 24/7 on this like providing or performing grind with the real estate business, the fight game, and then the kids and wife. But I do need to check it out there. Maybe I'll take my wife out there.
Yeah.
Get her a rose.
I'm gonna drop like $100 for like a couple roses.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
It's for D Rose
Support
though.
my
It's all
boy.
good. Yeah. Yeah, man. So fight game, NBA, all that. A lot of it's networking, right? So a lot of people like for our podcast at least, we like to add some education in there. We want to help people out that are trying to develop in whatever field they're in. As far as networking in these types of industries, tell me about like what skills you need to have to be successful at that.
It's important to be confident, know who you are. Don't put out an image, just be who you are, because people, especially high-level people, they can see through that shit. If you're putting on an act, they can see through that shit. So being genuine, being real, being confident. I think a huge skill is being able to adapt, know your personnel, know who you're talking to. Don't talk the same way to everybody, you know what I mean? I think it's a skill to make people feel comfortable when they're talking to you, you know what I mean? So, and that comes with adaptability, understanding how personalities are, how people are, being able to read energy in the room. But I think that would be my advice. Just be adaptable and be confident and genuine.
Have you ever been in that situation where you're like, that did not go well at all? I've been in situations where I'm like talking to somebody and like I'm walking away, I'm like, I fucked that up really bad.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I'm sure, of course, in life, I'm 30 years old. I'm sure that's happened a bunch of times, but I think it's okay. That's what, no losses, only lessons, that's how life is meant to be. If you don't have trials and losses, then you're never going to level up, so that's what builds character.
So when you sign these fighters, right, obviously it's networking and then you end up signing them or not signing them. What's kind of like that discussion and like those final couple conversations? Like, how do they go?
Yeah.
Like when you sign a fighter or
Yeah, I keep it pretty organic. I'm not out there like scouting dudes. Like my goal in the sports agency world is to manage 10 to 15, maybe 10 to 20 just elite dudes. I don't want to be like these other agents that sign thousands of guys and they play the numbers game and you know, God is good. I have the real estate business that, that's what I use to feed my children, so I don't need to be a bloodhound trying to like use these athletes to feed my kids. We're here to be the best in the world. That's what we're chasing.
That's
And once you get there, money follows. That's the level we're trying to get at.
that's
Not
probably
chase the money, but have the money chase us.
yeah, that's probably the better. I mean, that sounds good. If I was a fighter, well, a level of fighter like that, but
And in terms of fighters, like what I want in a guy, I'm pretty picky too, dude. I don't want to just manage anybody.
Yeah.
It's very important for me that you have good character. You be the best fighter in the world, but if you don't have good character, I'm not gonna manage you. It's just
no, it's
not
good.
what I'm about.
Yeah,
Good character, discipline. You work your ass off, and you have like a delusional, like self belief. Like I'm gonna be the best in the world. That's the energy
Yeah.
that I work with. Those are the type of guys that I work with, and because I have that. Like telling people, I'm gonna be the best sports agent in the world, managing world champions. People think it's crazy, but somebody's got to do it. So why not? Why not me?
yeah. As a fighter and being in their shoes, knowing that you don't need the money from this what we're doing right now, this partnership, that's actually that's like music to someone's ears, right? Because
Yeah.
like you're there for genuine care and you actually want them to succeed versus like some people will just they'll sign a fighter, milk everything out of them, and leave them for dead on the road
Oh,
after.
dude, I know of agents that like don't even talk to their guys like 3 months at a time. Like every 3 months, I'll call them. Oh, we might have a fight for you, or like it's not a real like. My guys hit me up every day, dude, just to talk about, just to shoot the shit, or because it's like I said, an agent and a fighter or an athlete. It's a very intimate relationship. It has to be genuine. It has to be real. So
Oh, it's good to hear. You don't hear that often, right?
yeah.
Do you know any other managers? Have you had encounters with other managers? Any manager you look up to in some sort of way and trying to mold into what they're doing?
Well, I think always like bloodline will always be like, my whole model is kind of built like theirs with the family structure and the
Yeah.
smaller group and the dynamic. It's kind of perfect that that's where I ended up. Obviously, there's agents, there's big dogs that I keep my eyes out on them, and I look at them as, yeah, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to compete with them. So there's a bunch of agents in the game that do a good job. There's a bunch of agents that don't do a good job, but
Yeah.
really just doing my own thing. Not even worried about them, and then like always showing love to Bloodline. Though I feel like Bloodline and Kingpin are kind of like sibling organizations because that's where my roots came from. But back to even the fighter stuff, even with my contracts, I have the most fighter-friendly contracts in the game. The lowest percentages for their competitions and for the sponsorships, and then also like if they're making 5K or less from competition, I don't take anything from them. Which for MMA purposes is pretty much all the fighters until they get to the UFC. These guys don't make more than 5K on the regional scene. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I put in my work with them, and then we build through the trenches, and then the payoff comes when these guys are, like Michi. He's on a good contract with Zuffa. Like once these guys get to the big leagues and they keep elevating, become world champs, like the money will come as long as you keep working and don't give up. I believe in that, like I said.
You think Zuffa is gonna end up kind of signing most of the fighters out here?
We'll see, dude. I mean, they're also not trying to just sign everybody too. They're very smart with what they do and how they match make. That's why all the fights have been finishes and explosive.
true.
So I think they'll take their time and slowly they'll build up. And I think the other boxing promotions are gonna keep doing their thing too. And I think boxing's in a good place. In
Yeah.
a much better place than where it was like 2 years ago.
What do you think about like all like the influencer fights? Like I don't know if you saw Eddie Hall is fighting Tommy Fury.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna watch that. I mean, I watched Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul,
Yeah.
but I'm not too keen on that. I like very high level, like
Yeah.
elite dudes out there in a chess match.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
But I think business wise though, like if you like for example, I think KSI and Logan Paul had fought in 2019 the first time or second time. It was a pro match. they had like Devin Haney on the undercard. So I feel like it's good to have like,
There was?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're putting like sometimes having those big names on the top and putting
Yeah.
a bunch of good fights underneath.
No,
People
they've
are
got
like,
some
oh shit,
legit
yeah.
guys that they've helped build up. Jake Paul's building up a few fighters, and then I mean I like what MVP's doing.
Yeah,
with
what do you
the
think of?
Netflix
Yeah, what's
show.
your opinion on MVP?
Yeah, the Netflix show is solid.
Yeah.
Give these guys another lane to make money.
I think
you
he's
know?
doing great things for women's boxing as well. Like Amanda
Yeah.
Serrano's a way bigger star than she would have ever been without Jake
Yeah.
Paul. So
No, he's doing his thing. I'm not a hater, dude. That's one thing. I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
If you're doing your thing, you're doing your thing. You know, I'm focused on my shit and my guys. And
he could just be chilling, but he's fighting. So he's just
Yeah.
got his jaw broken in 2 places. So I mean,
no, he's cool.
he's
dude.
living the life
He's
of a
fine.
fighter.
He's doing
Yeah.
his thing. Just
Yeah.
I think the hate comes from people that aren't on that frequency of thinking. You know what I mean? You have to train
100%.
your mind to just be on a higher frequency and level up, and don't put hate out there.
When you understand the business side of boxing, you respect Jake Paul way more.
Yeah, just
100%,
business side of
yeah.
everything, dude. He's whatever.
No, I mean-
I respect people that are good at what they do. If
Yeah.
you're elite, it doesn't matter what you do, dude. You're a sick ass barber. I respect that, dude.
Yeah.
These are skills, like, and honestly, like, you could do anything. If you're the best in the world, you'll make money.
100%. I want to kind of transition into your real estate world.
Yeah.
I don't think I told you, but I'm trying to do some work in real estate as well,
Oh,
like
yeah.
do some property
Everyone
management
should, bro.
company. Yeah.
Everyone should. Real estate.
Yeah.
I think it's like 90 or 95% of millionaires come from real estate. So it's like everyone should be dabbling in that.
Yeah, so tell me about Sada Capital. Like,
Yeah.
what do you focus on? What's your niche, if there is a niche, and kind of tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so what we do is we own commercial properties like office buildings. We've got a portfolio of about 10. Most of them are in Chicagoland, but we do have one in Fort Worth, Texas. Just manage these buildings, man. Well, a lot of times we'll buy, maybe properties that aren't performing as well as they could, but we see the value we can bring in there in terms of, just making it better everywhere, filling it up with tenants, bringing the value up. And then while we have the properties, taking care of it. But there's a lot that goes into buildings, dude, from inspections
Oh, yeah.
to the tenants to different issues every day, and then dealing with banks, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But I think it's very, it's the only place where you can invest a crazy amount of money and see, I think, like a 3x, a 4x type
100%.
return, and it's more stable than like if you're in the stock market or something like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the property's still going to have its base value always, so land and things like that. So
It's a physical thing. People are always, whether the market's going good or bad, people are always going to need somewhere to sleep.
yeah,
So if market's bad, people are going to sell their homes, make some money selling. Market's going good, people are going to want to upgrade bigger homes, sell some bigger homes. So it's
Yeah.
always a business going to be all running. That's kind of what got me into it as well. So
yeah, no,
100%
real estate's
agree
cool,
with you.
bro. I think real estate's cool, and you want to collect assets, bro. Build your wealth by collecting assets.
Yeah, do you so I work a little bit more with like apartment complexes and multifamilies. You do more commercial.
Yeah.
I know that's a little more tricky, right? So tell me a little bit about the difference, if you know, between like traditional real estate and then doing commercial real estate.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm too much of an expert on what the main differences would be, but I think it's like, yeah, commercial has a lot more that goes into it versus just
Yeah.
like dealing with, if you have tenants at an apartment, yeah, you might get calls about putting out certain fires every now and then, but with my tenants, I'm dealing with them every day, and it's multiple businesses. Like one of my tenants is the Naperville DMV. They're in our property. I've got law firms. I've got, just medical. I have a medical building with dentists and doctors. So every day, if, something comes up, something happens,
Yeah.
I'm just dealing with them. So I think it's more like that. And then obviously you work a lot more with the village of all these suburbs and cities, and the inspections of the buildings, making sure everything is from the elevator to the fire stuff to, just making sure everything's running smooth at all times.
Yeah, I know you're from the Barrington area. You know how the village is super strict with Barrington, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Luckily, our properties are all west suburbs.
Okay,
so-
yeah, nice, dude. In South Barrington, just like you might as well you'll wait for like a year and a half to like do one little project.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
No, we're not out there. All our properties are like Naperville, Downers Grove, Lyle, west suburbs, and then we have a really nice property in Fort Worth. It's the fourth tallest building in downtown Fort Worth. Our tenants are all like steakhouses and just nice end businesses. So excited about that property and the potential of it.
Nice.
Nice. So now we're gonna transition into like your early life and your work ethic. So what I want to ask is, what was like your first job before you got successful with your MMA and business operation stuff?
I grew up in a business household. Always like have my dad, who was a businessman. Came from Pakistan to America, worked his ass off, and became a very successful businessman. And then I had my older brother, my older sister. They're 8 years and 9 years older, and they were huge too. Especially my older brother. He was like my best friend, guided me throughout life, always gave me confidence. And yeah, I think work ethic came from that. Growing up in a business household, having older siblings. My sister's a G too. She went to Georgetown. She was valedictorian. My brother's always been a G too, and my best friend. So lucky to have that around me. Lucky that God, you know, put certain skills that I have that allow me to be confident and do what I do. My first job was 15. I was working at like Best Buy, and then I was working for Clear. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the phone and internet company Clear.
Don't
You
they
guys
do
were shorties when I was doing this. I was like 14, 15, so you
Yeah.
guys were like 9, you know. I was like working at Best Buy for this cell phone company thing that was inside Best Buy. That was my first job. And then, dude, I had a lot of jobs, bro. I've worked at Red Robin before. I've worked at Best Buy before. Once I got to college, that was like high school. Once I got to college, I just did a lot of internships. I worked for an arena football team. I worked for the sports agency, Worldwide Career Management. Just stayed busy like that. And then once I graduated, it was Clippers and onward from there.
So basically, you knew that you wanted to be, you knew you could be something at the beginning of your life because of like your environment and who you were around and things like that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've always, I think everyone should believe that they can do something special in life, but I've always felt that way about myself, that yeah, I'm going to do something cool in this life. I'm going to make the most of my opportunities, and if my dad came here from Pakistan and took 2 steps, it's only right that I take 3 steps, and then when my kids get in that position, they take 4 steps, and that's how you build a dynasty. And just make sure I raise good men that are successful, but understand that this life's not the end all. We're on a journey. There's a spiritual world. Like I said, I'm a big believer in my faith, and just trying to raise good men and do good in this life while we're here.
So, was there ever like that one moment, in your life where you're like, yeah, this is like I'm gonna like you're telling us how you always thought you were gonna do big things, but was there ever that one moment? Because I feel like we all have that one moment where we're like, this normal life isn't for me. I want to do something different. I want to do something cool. Was there like a specific situation that you went through?
I don't think so, dude. I grew up kind of like a class clown, so I was always like, whatever, not doing any serious trouble, but just a class clown getting in trouble for funny shit.
Yeah.
But my teachers, I think I've had a lot of cool teachers that would be like, yo, even though you get in trouble, this and that, like, there's something about you, we think you're gonna do great in life, this and that. And I think just from an early age, yeah, people being kind. And I mean, I don't know, confidence just comes from yourself. It's not, I haven't always been the most confident person, but I've always been confident enough to not be scared to chase things, or not be scared to, kind of like, I feel like I grew up a huge Kobe fan, like I said. So growing up all throughout my childhood, I was just always watching Kobe shit, his mindset. And, I think that's kind of how I try to live my life, with that mindset. And then obviously, like I said, faith, combine religion, and then a little bit of Mamba mentality, and, just work. Don't be scared.
So, okay, how do you think about money differently now than before?
Oh, dude, I honestly, it's kind of fucked up to say, but like, I don't really care about money like that. Like, I'm a big believer that money comes and goes, and obviously, it's easy to say. Like, I've had, I don't know. I believe money comes and goes. Like I said, I'm chasing skills, and I'm chasing knowledge, and I'm chasing, you know, things like that. Like, I don't do shit to chase money. I chase it to just be the best I can be. Obviously, like with the real estate stuff, when we're looking at properties, if we want to buy, it has to make sense. The money part has to add up. But I don't look at I'm not attached to materialistic worldly things, dude. I understand. Like my brother died a year ago, you know, so from a motorcycle accident. Like I'm not attached to worldly shit. I do this because I'm here. And if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna always do it to be the best. That's just how my mind's always been. So I do it, stay in motion. You know, I got kids. My brother's kids are there. You know, so just trying to do the best I can. But you should never do your why shouldn't be money. I don't think, unless you know, obviously you're chasing financial freedom for your family. But yeah, I think there should be bigger whys than just money alone.
100%. I think just having that mindset will get you that money in the end.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you're the best at what you do, then the money will just come with it, and you're doing what you want to do. I mean, you wanted to work in the NBA, be in the NBA somehow, and you're there. You
Yeah.
wanted to be a fight manager, you got Kingpin going for you. So
Yeah.
I think that's just the way to do it. I mean, if whatever you want in this world, just go try it and don't give a shit what people say, and then
Yeah, for sure,
see
dude.
what
If you
happens.
care what people say, you'll never make it in life, dude. And I grew up somebody that was a people pleaser and always cared
Same,
about what
bro.
people cared, you know, until like probably the last 5 to 7 years, and I was like, bro, who gives a fuck?
When you
Just do
realize
what I
when you
do.
realize that for sure, when you realize that no one really cares and how selfish the world actually is,
Oh yeah,
you
like bro, I chill with like 5 dudes. I know
Exactly, yeah.
like thousands of people, but I chill with the same like 4 or 5
same.
dudes. Just
These
you
two
know,
dudes I've known for 10 plus years now. And
Yeah.
Same friends.
Yeah.
A lot of people come in and a lot of people go, like newer people, just because
Yeah.
you could see through the all the fake stuff and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, I don't really necessarily even enjoy. Like, I used to be super social, and I bring that social bunny out when I'm at like events doing my thing. But other than that, I like to be like low key now, you know, and just keep it like that. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Lowkey, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
fight, but that's kind of why we're doing this podcast. We're not the best speakers. We're not the most smart people in the world, but we wanted to do it, and we're here right now, a couple episodes in, and it's going well so far. We're meeting some cool people like you and getting some dope stories like that, and yeah, you're definitely an inspiration for sure.
No, I appreciate you guys, dude. No, like I said, it's awesome setup you guys have, and you know, I enjoy it. It's been good talk so far.
Yeah. So I kind of want to get a little, talk a little bit more about like some setbacks, some challenges you've faced in your life. What was the biggest setback or challenge you've ever had in your life where it definitely it could have taken you off course, you could have went the wrong down the wrong path, but you stayed your course, continue to do what you were doing.
Oh man, I've had a lot of honestly like. There's been a lot of setbacks in life. Um, Probably stuff that I wouldn't get too into details about.
Yeah.
But even like as recent as a year ago, dude, like my
Yeah.
brother was the Nate Diaz to my Nick Diaz. Like he was the person I was closest to on the entire planet, and he's dead. You know, so even I don't know, getting over that, still working. For me, I just keep myself busy. That's how I
Yeah.
get through any trauma or pain or.
He was your
and,
older brother?
Yeah.
Older
I
brother?
only had one brother.
Yeah.
9 years older. And my dad was like I said, avid businessman. So he was traveling a lot. So like my brother
Yeah.
played a big like dad type role in my life.
100%, yeah.
So
Oh, dude, I'm sure. Alhamdulillah, he's proud of you. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
look at where you're at. So, I mean, was he into like MMA and all that?
he was into it because of me, but he
Yeah.
wasn't into it. But he would watch when my guys would perform just to support me and be hyped. And,
Awesome, bro.
you
No, bro.
He was a
I'm-
basketball player though, growing up.
Yeah.
Too. He was sick. He used to dunk when he was a sophomore in high school. He was like dunking.
That's this guy.
And he's my height, 6 feet flat. He's
Dang.
an athlete. So.
Yeah,
Good
man.
dude. He was a good father. You know, he raised 3 really good kids. So, yeah.
Yeah. How everybody else is doing good? Kids are good?
Yeah, everyone's good. You know, everyone's doing real well. My nephews are ballers, dude. One of my nephews, he's in 7th grade. He just won MVP for the league he's in over
Nice.
there, and you know, things are going good, dude. But yeah, if things are going bad, like I said, you have to be able to kind of zoom out and understand the bigger picture. You can't just be locked in that moment and let yourself get fucked up from failure, because everything happens for a reason. Once you instill there are no losses, it's lessons. And once you, I think, have just strong faith in God and God's timing and God's plan, and understand, like, dude, you can't control everything. That's not how this works. I think everything becomes a lot easier and more manageable.
Yeah, for sure. You're in both your industries you work in, you manage a lot of things, a lot of moving parts,
Yeah.
people. So I kind of wanted to ask, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, right? A lot of people's careers are on the line. A lot of people's businesses rely on your properties. So how do you deal with that pressure and how do you go about it?
Don't take my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I'm working my ass off, I know what I'm doing. So I
Just
don't
take
really
off
feel
the-
the pressure.
Take off the rearview mirror like Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler.
Yeah, you know. What I
You heard
mean?
that?
Like, bro, if you're doing what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do, then what's pressure? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, I know I'm putting the best I can be. Obviously, everyone can continue growing. That's just life. But I think it comes down to work ethic. Confidence comes from preparation. You know, so if you're prepared, you're confident, and if you're confident, pressure makes diamonds.
I got a question. So, how many people do you manage?
15.
15. So, with that in real estate, how do you have the time?
Bro, 24/7 providing or performing. But like I said, for me, I like it because if I'm not doing shit, then maybe I'll start getting down about my brother, getting down about certain things. For
Yeah.
me, I'm gonna be one of those dudes that I'm not gonna retire, bro. I'm gonna work till I die. And you know, for some men, when you retire is when you die, bro. Like staying busy is what makes us providers, makes us men, makes us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is grinding, bro. Yeah, work and kids, and then
I guess the closest thing to retirement would be like those COVID years
yeah,
where we weren't working and I was no, it's fun for like a couple days, right?
yeah.
But you're like, bro, I need to do something. Like I need to make some money. I need to go like
Bro, as
work
men,
out
we're
or something.
happy
Yeah,
when we're building.
exactly,
You
100%.
know, so
Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I work long days. I work like 15 to 20-hour days sometimes, and you're tired, you're beat, you got a whole nother day of that tomorrow. But for some reason, it's like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but this right now.
yeah, no.
You know?
I mean, bro, it's a privilege to be exhausted from shit you dreamed about and prayed for.
And you don't
You
have
know?
time to think about the stupid shit going on
Yeah,
on social
I'm just
media
always
and all that.
working,
Yeah.
bro. I work, I wake up, I go to my properties, I work out of there, I do my Kingpin stuff out of there. Phone calls 24/7, dude. I just got a call too. My phone is vibrating in my phone. I just silence it.
Yeah.
You know,
Before,
probably one of my athletes hitting me up, but then a wife and 2 kids. I
Yeah.
finish work, I go home, I chill with my boys. They sleep at like 8 p.m. Then I'll finally like not be
Wind
working,
down,
and
yeah.
then I don't sleep probably as much as I should. I probably average like 5 hours, maybe
Yeah, I was about to
6
say
on
with
a good day.
all that traveling
Yeah,
you
like
do
last
too
night I
as well.
slept at 2 a.m., woke up at 8 a.m., went to go hoop for a couple hours, like 5-on-5, pick up run with my boys. You guys can come, Lowkey. I'll send you the
what's
details.
up.
We rent this court on Saturdays in Glen Ellen.
okay.
So
Nice.
went to hoop, went back to the crib, showered, and came here.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And then PFL. and
Yeah,
then after party, you know, for that, the function, go net, you know, try to go close more deals and cultivate relationships and
Who do you got in that main event? Pettis? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
I like Sergio Pettis, so I'll root for him. You know, and I
I'm-
think it'll be a good. He's the more experienced guy. You know, and then UFC's today too, dude. Like I said, Cobb making his final fight. That's huge. I think that whole card is stacked, so it's a good day for fight stuff. And you got Conor Ben and Progress and Fury fighting. It's a good day for fight fans today.
yeah. Who do you got? You got Conor Ben?
We'll see, bro. Probably. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
they
It's a little weird. It's a little bit of a
Regis
weird
isn't a
fight. Yeah.
scrub. You know, I wouldn't just count him out. He's a beast too.
No, I used to watch him a lot.
Yeah.
When he was he won. He's a 2-time world champ.
Yeah.
I think on his second run, I was watching a lot of him. He no, dude, he's a good fighter, man. It's just like I said, we were talking about it earlier. Like, it's a little weird though, like the injury rumors and all that.
I
Yeah,
worry if he's injured or not, but whatever, dude. He's there. He's gonna go fight, and
it's gonna be a good
we'll
fight
see
though.
how that goes. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Yuri Alberg tonight too. Good main event. Yeah, good day to be a fight fan today.
100%. Who do you got in that main event? Yuri or Olberg?
I lean towards Yuri. I think, you know, he's got a crazy chin.
Yeah.
I think he's got a crazy chin. He's gonna. Alberg might look good the first 2-3 rounds, piece him up, you know, do his thing, but Yuri's just gonna eat that shit, keep coming forward, and I think eventually he's gonna clip him.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rakic fight or the Roundtree fight. I see it going like that. Yuri's a beast, dude. And when he hits like a hammer.
Yeah. You know which fight I'm actually excited about? No one's really talking about. Randy Brown and Kevin Holland.
That's
gonna be a
fight.
banger.
That's a great fight. That's a toss up too. I mean, I think Kevin Holland overall is maybe more skilled, but sometimes he comes out flat, dude. And Randy Brown comes out to fight every time. So I
100%.
think I lean towards Randy Brown a little bit, but that's a toss up for me.
Yeah, and then another good one. Was Aaron Pico
Aaron
was
Pico and Pitbull.
yeah Pitbull was Bellator, right?
Yeah, they
Champ.
both were.
They were both
They
Bellator,
were
right?
both Bellator fighters. That fight was supposed to happen in Bellator, but
Yeah.
now we're getting it in the UFC.
Yeah.
We'll
What do
see, dude. Maybe, I hope not, but it seems like they're trying to see who they want to part ways with. after
That's
the
exactly
fight,
what it is. Yeah,
so,
yeah. Who do you got on that one?
I think Pico.
Yeah.
I think Pico.
He looked. We were at UFC Chicago. He was doing all right. He just got caught with that spinning elbow.
I mean, you can't bull rush.
Yeah,
guys
I know.
Like that,
He
dude.
went head first
Especially
into that
somebody
shit.
Like
Lerone Murphy, yeah.
who's so high level and so skilled in the stand up. Like, you need to fight with some sort of patience, I believe. But
100%. Yeah.
Pitbull's not Lerone Murphy, so.
Yeah. All right. So, super quick, just a little you don't have to go super detailed into it, but obviously, like I said, we want to help out people who are watching this, give a little education, spread the knowledge of what you've learned that helped you along your journey. So, what's one habit that changed your life that people kind of brush over most of the time?
I feel like since I was, for a long time, like the last 10 years, I wake up early. I think people should wake up early. That's a huge part of the day. You can get a head start. I don't sleep in. Even on Saturdays, Sundays, I never sleep in.
Same. I'm a 5 a.m. guy, and then by the time it's like noon, you're like, shit, I had a whole day already.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's just
dude.
getting up now.
Yeah,
So-
and just outwork the pack, dude.
This fucking guy right here.
It's a habit. You get into it. Once you get into it, you see the benefits of it, and then I think
Yeah.
just outwork the pack, dude. Like, if
I
you
mean,
want
yeah.
something, you can do it.
100%.
What's the reason you can't? It's just your own limitations that you put on yourself, or other people's limitations that you listen to.
Was there any advice that you heard a lot, but you kind of ignored, and then eventually one day you're like, let me just see what happens if I try this? Was there anything like that? Or was it getting up could be one of those?
I mean, like, I don't go out that much anymore. I used to go out when I was like
Yeah.
younger, but like I don't go out. I don't try not to waste time and things like that. I feel like before, when I was younger, I'm always down to go out, have fun, but now I'm very, just methodical about shit.
Yeah. See, I like going out, and then sometimes I feel like in the middle of it, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I should probably sleep so I can
Yeah, you
wake up
realize
tomorrow and be good.
eventually you realize you're just like, bro, just wasting time, dude. And I don't know. I mean, life is full of a bunch of tribulations and trials. I think one thing I learned, which might sound like messed up to people, is like, I don't chase happiness. I think this life isn't meant to be happy.
100%.
This life is meant for trials. This life is meant for tribulations and pain. I just chase, there's moments of happiness, and we have those. But once you realize, this life is meant to be trials for everybody, I think it makes it a lot easier to get through shit and understand, this is a journey we're on.
I 100% agree. And then by the time, the day comes where it's time for, the day of judgment or whatever, you're going to be you're going to go up there or whatever with all that knowledge and that type of person you've become over the years. And that's what this whole life was for, to become that person.
Yeah, and I think gratitude, dude. Always being grateful. I don't think I've done anything. I think God just hooked it up, provided opportunities for me, put me in positions, and, that's how I believe, that's how I move, and I don't believe in coincidences. I believe, there's a reason behind everything.
So, we're a little bit younger, a couple years younger than you. What's a big investment mistake people make, our age, younger, even your age possibly? What do you see often?
I mean, when I was around your guys' age, I feel like a lot of people would get super excited about the stock market and then make rash decisions or things like that,
Yeah, we got fucked from
I mean, bro,
a couple
I
things.
feel
Yeah.
like everybody has, but
Every podcast we
that's-
bring it up.
I was just
I've
about to
learned
say
that.
that.
I got burned before too, dude.
Yeah.
Like that, and then stop looking for quick ways of making money, dude.
I think that's what it was,
something
yeah,
and
yeah.
build your skill set, and stop looking for easy payouts. Oh, I'm gonna bet on these fights, or I'm gonna fucking bro, go pull your sleeves up and go work and make shit happen.
That's also what kind of led me to real estate too. Is it's a physical thing I could touch. It's gonna be here.
Yeah,
We know
bro.
it's gonna keep some kind
And
of
that,
value.
even
Yeah.
if you take a loss, you're gonna learn a lesson, dude.
Exactly.
You know, so
And the losses aren't as crazy as like crypto and
like
stuff.
I said,
Yeah.
the land always has value. It's not like a freaking business goes out and you're just out of luck, lost all your bread.
Lost
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
It's all good, dude.
I made a little money on Doge,
Nice. Yeah.
but
I was invested in that shit when it went up to like 80 cents back, like I don't know how long ago, like
did
8
you pull
years
out in
ago.
time or no?
No, I fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
I was like one of those guys, like, yeah, it's gonna hit $1.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, dude, I was being told that, and I was like, I'll wait. And then yeah,
that shit went down. And you're
what
like,
is it
"Damn,
now?
I
It's like
missed
less
it,
than a
dude."
penny.
To this day, that shit still haunts us all the time.
Dude, that fucked me
I
up.
remember, dude. I was sitting there. I was like, yeah. I was with a bunch of my boys too. My brother, my brother used to have a car dealership. We were all sitting there. I was like, bro, it's at 80 cents, 60 cents, whatever it was at.
Dude, that got me depressed for a couple of years. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
Yeah.
at the time, I put it around like, well, not just Doge, but just like crypto, and the whole
Yeah.
business in general. Put it around like 10K. I don't even know what it's worth right now. I just
Yeah,
put all
no,
this shit on a
bro.
cold wallet and I put it in the closet. I'm like,
You're
dude,
not the only one, dude. I've lost fucking a lot of bread in the stock market too. Because
Yeah.
I was younger. I was like 23, 24, just
Yeah.
whatever. Not really knowing what I'm doing, you know?
cool. So there is one question we ask all our guests. If you were to start over again today from zero, how would you go about getting yourself up to the level you are right now?
You have to be hungry, bro. You have to be hungry. Like, I thought there was a bunch of people like me. I thought I would open this agency and there would be a hungry kid that would come and be like, yo, like, I want to be the best agent in the world one day too. Let me help you. And I would see that hunger and, like, because that's what I was for Bloodline, you know? Just
Yeah.
a hungry kid that came and fucking made shit happen. But as I'm growing, I'm realizing, like, there really isn't, like, I feel like, it's not that I think I'm better than people, but that hunger that I have, I think, it's not something that grows on trees.
100%,
You know?
yeah.
And I think you got to have hunger. Be hungry to be great. Reach out. Be proactive. Show initiative. Go make it happen. You know, stop waiting for someone to do it for you. Or, I don't know, just stop waiting for anything. Just go. Sometimes you got to just do things, dude. When you put things off, they never get done.
I think that the world we live in today, you're right. The competition is not that extreme anymore because people are lazy nowadays. Everything is being done for people. People are very entitled nowadays.
yeah,
People don't want to earn their spot to be up there. They're just like, why am I not up there? And they
Yeah.
complain about it.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's anything in life I think is achievable if you're willing, if you're daring enough to chase it and put in the work that it requires.
Cool. Well, before we let you go, I want to ask a couple rapid fire questions just to get to know you more, outside the business stuff and all that. So, who are some of your favorite fighters all time?
Oh,
You can give me like a couple, 2 or 3 MMA, 2 or 3 boxers.
I like a lot of guys. Obviously, all my guys are my favorite fighters. But if you go outside of Kingpin, I love Khabib and I like Islam a lot. I love Cub Swanson, Ilya Tapuria. I just like high level dudes, bro. Like I said, I'm a big fan of. I don't care what
The
you
art-
do.
the art of it,
Well,
yeah.
and anything in life, just I respect people that are elite at what they do. I'm a big fan of that. So especially in the fight game, I really love the elite fights like Islam versus Volk 1. I love that fight. That high level chess match, and then I like Charles Oliveira a lot. I love Charles Oliveira. Honestly, I think the way he carries himself, how he shakes his opponent's hands and their coaches when he walks in, and I like the humble beast, all the humble beasts out there. That's my.
Are you a fan of
style.
you a
Bob.
fan of Izzy?
Yeah, Izzy's cool.
That's my
Izzy's
guy,
cool.
bro. It's a sad days now.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. Everything happens for
Yeah.
a reason.
But he's
had
fighting like
He
legit
has a lot of
comp, yeah.
miles, bro.
Yeah.
He has like 80 kickboxing fights. He has like
That's true.
maybe 2, 3, maybe more pro boxing fights. And
Probably has like
all the
over
MMA
300 fights, if I'm being honest.
definitely over 100, but 100,
Uh,
maybe 200. Yeah, like
'cause
dude,
he
he just
probably
has a
done
lot of
amateurs.
miles, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has a lot of miles. It happens where he's at, and he's fighting tough dudes.
Yeah.
But
Or
that's
some
the
bo-
thing, bro. Chins don't have like when they go out, they just go out.
Yeah.
And
Who are
that
some
comes from mileage on it.
Who are some boxers you like?
Boxing.
Like our boy American. That's our guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Had no chin at all, even when he was young too.
Hamza Shiraz, right?
That's my wall right there. I got both them on there.
shoot,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
T-Bud.
Obviously, T-Bud is.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite boxer, probably, dude. Just his mentality. I love
Do
that.
you have a favorite Mexican fighter?
Favorite Mexican fighter? Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, Canelo's I.
I think
He's just
I
aight.
think yeah. I think Chav. Yeah, I think he was a freaking beast, dude. And Canelo obviously a beast. Like I said, I respect all of them, dude. I'm not one of those fight fans that's a fucking hater, and I respect all of them. I even like Ryan Garcia a lot too. You know, he
He's
stood
nasty.
up for some real just his character too. He's not scared to stand up for like real shit and expose the evilness in the
Yeah,
world.
I don't want to get our fucking podcast canceled in the first couple episodes, but I'm not gonna lie to you. He said some crazy shit, but there's some crazy stuff going on in the world right now. That's all I'm gonna
There's
say.
a lot of truth behind the shit he says.
Yeah.
So once you know about what's going, I mean, I have kids, dude, so I gotta know what's going on in the
100%,
world,
yeah.
you know, to protect them. So he's not wrong about a lot of stuff.
So working in both the fight world and like real estate world, which seems to be the crazier field to be in right now.
I mean, I think the fight world is more crazy because it's sports entertainment.
You get
You
to see
know.
a lot more crazy stuff in the
100%.
backstage.
Yeah, the sports entertainment
Yeah.
side is a lot more of a wild ride. A lot of traveling for fights and
It's fun, bro.
yeah.
It's cool. You got any travel plans soon for some fights?
Yeah, I'm going to Iowa. My guy Pernevalon Shepard, P. Weezy, he's an MMA fighter out of Chicago. He's fighting on this promotion XFC 54, April 25th in Iowa. So I'm gonna go out there for that. Probably drive out on the 21st or 22nd. Go out there, weight cut, weigh-ins, fight night,
What's up?
do the whole thing, and then get that dub and come back.
Do you know any guys from MTC in Schaumburg?
Yeah, some of them. Some of them.
They got some pros there. Like they got
I know
Dana James.
Johnny used to go there a lot.
Yeah,
who I
yeah.
know. And yeah, I think Coach Mikey B.
That's my coach.
Yeah,
that's
you
how
know,
we met, right? I think he got me in contact with you.
potentially.
No, it was Donnie.
Oh, there
Donnie,
you
the
go.
manager over there, right? Yeah, yeah.
MTC's cool, dude. Like, yeah, they do their thing. They have a nice facility.
Yeah, they got some good fighters out there. There's a lot of up and coming guys for
Yeah,
sure.
Chicagoland, I think the talent's growing over here. So
100%.
it's nice.
One more thing I want to talk about before we let you go is I want to get your opinion on the UFC White House card.
Good card. They just overhyped it. That was the problem.
Right? Yeah. Like if
you
they just
can't
announced it
tell
like
us
that, yeah, that
You
would have
can't
been
tell
good.
us, yo, this is gonna be the best card ever, and then it's not, you know. But that's the only thing. I think overall, like I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, there's some
100%,
good
yeah.
fights on there. For a fight fan, there's some good fights on there, but it's not the best card ever.
Yeah. You think here I don't think a lot of people agree with me on this. I think Pereira and Gon is a better fight than Pereira and Jones. Just because they're both
Yeah,
they're both
probably.
strikers.
It's gonna be a stand-up fight.
Exactly. If Jones comes in, he's just gonna take Pereira down and it's gonna be over.
Yeah, I could see
But
that. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good fight.
It's
I mean,
gonna be very high level shit.
Yeah,
you
they're
know?
gonna throw
Cyril
down.
Gane's movement is no joke, and obviously Alex Pereira is no joke. You know, stand up is best in the world. You know, so they're both really high level stand up dudes. So and they're athletes. Should be a
100%.
really good matchup. You know, hopefully Gaethje can do something with Ilya too, but you know,
I don't
we'll
think
see.
so, but we'll see.
how it goes. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know you got PFL. You gotta head out of here soon.
Yeah.
Got a big night ahead of you, so I hope you have fun, man. Thanks again.
Hold on.
Oh wait, back to Mexican fighters though. Shout out Danny Silva, El Puma. He's in the UFC. He just had a knockout like a week ago or 2 weeks ago on the London show. So I'd say my favorite Mexican MMA fighter. Since you asked, because I gave you a boxer, not an MMA fighter. So Danny Silva, look out for him. And Richie Miranda, El Machete. He's the LFA world champion, 12-1, should be in the UFC. Uncle Dana got to make that call soon.
I'll make the call.
Yeah.
Not play.
I had a question. One of the things that like keeps popping up, especially in the UFC. So if you have like someone in the UFC high level, who you're managing a fighter there, and you know he's about to retire because of his age, how would you manage to not? Because I know Dana does this a lot, where the fighter's about to retire, and he probably has like maybe 2 or 3 fights, but for some reason he makes it an 8-fight deal. How do you try to like combat that, like not make it an 8-fight deal, because you know he's only doing that so if the fighter decides to fight in another organization like Dirty Boxing or Jake Paul's fight to make more money, but obviously he's making an 8-fight deal contract, to basically just keep him in prison to the UFC, because you know how they're not able to fight in other organizations. How are you able to like figure something out? Like, what would you tell your fighter would you tell him not to resign and go fight another organization, or?
It would just depend, dude, how much he's getting paid by the UFC. Some guys get paid really well by the UFC.
Right.
Too. They don't want to leave. Some guys see the potential of leaving. I think in the past, there used to be like a sunset clause that people used to be get out of like contracts when they're being
Right.
iced out and stuff. Nowadays, I haven't really dealt with it myself personally. Not yet. But if you're planning to retire, then I think you can get out of things just by retiring. But if you're trying to like not get iced out, it's a tricky thing.
That's why you need a good manager like him.
Because like Nate Diaz, he got lucky.
They all took advantage of. Yeah, some of them took advantage of the sunset clause which I don't know too much about like that, but it was something in there that they were able to take advantage of and not get iced out.
Right.
Yeah, for Nate Diaz, Francis Ngannou obviously worked out.
Right. So I'm assuming it doesn't happen really a lot with.
It's not happening a lot because UFC is the big leagues for the fight game.
Right.
Now is like the first time MVP is paying guys a lot of money for a real MMA show. So now guys are starting to think,
Right.
like if I was Sean O'Malley, oh dude, I wasn't signed to the UFC, I could just go get paid like $5 million to fight for MVP for one fight.
I think that's a good thing though, right?
Overall it should be. It should be. It should
competition is good.
UFC's hand to pay guys more and things like that, I believe.
100%. I think that's
But
a good
MVP
competition.
lane is for established superstars already. The
That's
guys
true,
that
man.
aren't there yet, they need the UFC.
100%.
But for your guys, if they're in a contract, do you ask the promoters if they can get out the contract, or do you let them just finish off the contract?
On the regional scene, they don't really do contracts like
Okay.
that. They're one-off fights,
Right.
And then if you're in the UFC already, you're already in the UFC. You're trying to stay there. It's honestly harder to stay in the UFC than it is to get there. So once you get there, it's a whole new mission.
Yeah, no, I just had to ask because it's kind of weird that Dana does that a lot with a lot of fighters, and one of the things that got my attention was like Alex Pereira, because he just basically signed an 8-fight deal, but he also talks about wanting to box like actual boxers like Usyk, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that, bro.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to
won't
do it for the
anymore.
money.
No, he won't, because UFC didn't force him to sign it. He signed that 8-fight deal
Right.
himself, and I heard he's getting paid like a lot. I think like in the 7-8 figure range. So he's chilling.
Yeah, no, but it's just not only him, but like Dustin Poirier. He also wanted to box Nate Diaz in a boxing fight, but they wouldn't allow him.
Yeah, that was when he was under contract though.
Yeah.
Now he could probably do it.
Who, Dustin or?
Yeah.
No, Dustin's still in contract. His contract's frozen. Just that's about it.
Oh, then I don't know. He should hire a legal team because if someone's retired from MMA, that doesn't make sense. Like Cobb's about to retire. From MMA, from the UFC.
Yeah.
But if MVP comes to him in 3 months, is like, yo, here's $2 million, fight on our card, he's allowed to take that fight. So I don't know what's going on with Dustin's deal. But Cobb's retiring on the last fight of his deal. So he's good.
Cool.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, man. Like I said, thanks again for coming. I hope you have fun tonight. We'll put it on, check it out, see some of the PFL guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.